What is up, people? Welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to try to hack into this TryHackMe machine called Agent Sudo. Now, this is supposed to be a easy CTF kind of machine, as it says in the author note. Welcome to another THM exclusive CTF room. Your task is simple: capture the flag just like the other CTF room and have fun, it says. So we have to find a way into this machine and capture the flags and submit them to solve this challenge. So let's get started. As you can see, I have already connected. I've already started this machine and I've already connected to my VPN. So I'm just going to test my connection first before getting started. So I'm just going to go to my terminal and I'm going to ping that. Maybe I have to use sudo for that because the current user doesn't have the permission. There you go. We are getting response from the server, so that means that the host is up. So let's go ahead and do a simple nmap scan. I'm going to say nmap sp for the version scan and then followed by the IP address, and I'm going to save that scan as a normal nmap file with the file name as nmap scan. So I'm going to do that scan, and meanwhile I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to see if there's any HTTP web server running on the default port, and there you go. It seems like there is a HTTP web server running, and the default page says, "Dear agents, use your own code name as user agent to access the site from agent R." So we now have a hint right away that we have to use our code name as the user agent in order to access the site. So it means that while sending a request to this server, we have to change the user agent and we have to put the user agent as our code name, which we do not know yet, but we'll see about that. So I'm just going to come back to my nmap scan. It's done, and it says that there are 3 ports open. There's an FTP service on port 21, SSH on 22, and HTTP on 80, which we already know. So let's go ahead and do that. And in order to do this, I'm just going to go ahead and open my burp suite. Wait, I don't have Foxy proxy installed. Let me install it quickly here. Foxy proxy, in order to like change my browser's proxy settings and all that. So I'm just gonna add this to my Firefox. Okay, got it. I'm just gonna go to options, add a new thing, and I'm gonna name it burp suite, and HTTP, the proxy address. Let me go ahead to my burp suite and see my proxy address there. I'm gonna start burp. So proxy, I'm gonna go to options, and it's running on 127.0.0.1 port 8080. So I'm just gonna enter the same values there, 127.0.0.1 port 8080, and we don't have a username password for that, and I'm gonna click save. All right. So another thing I want to do on burp suite is I want to add a target here. So I'll just go to scope, add a target, and I'll just add this target into that. Yes, and then I'm going to go to proxy intercept, and the intercept is already on. So now we have set up burp suite according to our needs. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set the proxy to burp suite, and if I refresh this page, you could see it pops up in burp suite. This is a request that we are sending. I'm just gonna send it to repeater and gonna forward that. So it says the same thing. So I'm just gonna go to my repeater right now, and what I have to do is clear. It's clear. We have to change this username. I mean the user agent. So we have to put it as a code name, and I'm just gonna like put the string code name as the user agent, and we'll see what happens. So since I don't know what the code name is, I'm just guessing it would be something like a default code name. I don't know. It's worth a try. So let me send this, and it says the same message. It says, "Dear agents, use your own code name," and blah blah blah. So that is definitely not what we want to do. So what else? So it says from agent R. So maybe agent R is a code name. So what if we try that? So I'm just gonna copy that, and I'm just gonna replace the user agent to agent R this time. Click on send. Nope, nothing works. Maybe I will like remove the spaces and say agent underscore R, something like that. No, or maybe just R. Nope, it says the same thing. Okay, so maybe we would want to like brute force it. So I'll just send this to intruder positions. I'm just going to add a position here. So I'm just going to add a position here. And instead of this, I think I'm going to go to payloads and I'm going to set the payload count to just character substitution. No, what is that I want to set? So let's look at this brute forcer. This payload type generates payloads of specific lengths that contain all permutations of a specific character set. So this is the character set. The minimum length is 4, maximum length is 4. Okay, I'm gonna just set the minimum length as 1. And I guess we'll start the attack. This is the character set, so it's going to like do all the permutations from this set. So I'm gonna start the attack and let's see. So first it's going to send A, B, C, C. All the status codes are 200. So how do we like differentiate? Maybe we'll just look at the length of the responses. What about, wait a minute. I'm just gonna stop this attack right here, but because I just realized that it doesn't include case sensitive letters. I just want case sensitive as well. So I'm just gonna like quickly go to Python here. I'm just gonna say string is this. I'm gonna say st.upper, and I'm just gonna have to copy this as well because I also want to consider uppercase letters or caps letters. So I'm just gonna paste this as well. That's it. So I'm gonna set the minimum length to 1, maximum length to 4. Actually, I'm just going to okay. So yeah, now that I've included the caps characters, the uppercase characters, I'm going to start the attack again. So now I can be sure that I've included everything. So it seems like the default length is 409. So we want to look for a different length other than this, to see if we have gotten any different response. And oh, there you go. So actually for the payload C, we got a response with the length 422, which is different from the other responses because all the other responses had the length 409. So that is interesting. So I'm just gonna see the response for that. So if I come down, it doesn't say anything. It says the same thing. Dear agents, use a code name to access. Oh, actually, you can see the status code is also 302. It's not 200. So 302 usually means redirection. It's the server is redirecting you to some other resource on the web server. And if you look at the response headers, you could see that there is a header that says location and it says agent underscore c underscore attention.php. So this is where the server wants us to redirect. So let's go to that thing. So /agency underscore attention. So there you go. We have a different message this time. It says, attention, Chris, do you still remember our deal? Please tell agent J about the stuff ASAP. Also change your goddamn password is weak from agent R. So that's a hint, another hint that the password is weak. So maybe we can brute force it because it says right here that it's weak. Another thing that I feel is important is this name right here, Chris, because until now, we did not know any name. We only know agent R, agent J and everything, but we did not come across any actual name. So in this case, we actually saw a name Chris. So maybe we can use this as a username. All right. So if I come back to my Nmap screen, you could see that there are two more services other than the HTTP, which is FTP and then there's SSH. So let's try FTP first. So I'm going to say FTP 213. And first of all, I'm going to see if there's any anonymous login allowed. So I'm just going to type in anonymous, password is empty. Okay, so it says login failed. It means that the anonymous login is not allowed. So this time let's try with the username that we just found out, which is Chris. So I'm going to go ahead and for the username, I'm going to put Chris and it asks for a password. Let's try Chris has the password as well. Maybe because they said that the password is weak. Maybe that works. Nope, it doesn't work. So it seems like we have to actually brute force that password. Okay, let's actually try brute forcing it because they said that the password is weak. So how do I do that? I can maybe use Hydra for that. So I'll say Hydra. I don't have Hydra. What in the world? I have to install Hydra. I'm gonna turn off my proxy for a second there. Okay, so I'll just be back after installing Hydra. Okay, so Hydra is installed now. I'm just gonna say Hydra, and that shows me the help menu, I guess. So there are some options right here. So I can say -L and mention the username, or I can say -L and mention a file that contains a list of usernames. But in this case, I know the username. I want to brute force the password. I know that the username is Chris. So I will say Hydra -L and the username is Chris. And so for the password, I would need a word list so that Hydra will fetch each password and it would try to log in with that password. So we are basically brute forcing the password. So we would need a word list, and I'm just gonna see if I have RawQ, which is a famous word list. I'm just gonna say locate RawQ, RawQ.txt. Nope, I don't have RawQ installed, so I have to download it. I'll just quickly download RawQ. There you go, RawQ.txt. It's 133 MB. So that says a lot about this word list. It is a huge word list. Imagine a file, a text file that is 133 MB. Oh, it's done. I have a fast internet, it seems like. So I am just going to, it's in my downloads, I guess, if I'm not wrong. I'm just going to cross check. There you go, RawQ.txt. So I'm just going to mention that, close this terminal. I'm just going to say downloads /RawQ.txt. And then I will mention the machine's IP address, which is 10.10.28.213. 28.213, and then I'm just going to say FTP so that I can tell Hydra that this is the FTP service that we are trying to brute force. And I can also customize it. I can say -T, and then I can maybe give how many threads. It says that the default is 16, but I think 16 is enough. Is there anything else I need to do? Nope, I think that's it. I think that should work. So let me try to execute it. So it has started up, and look at this. These are how many passwords are available in the RawQ.txt file. That's a huge number. And that's why it is like a very famous word list. So it seems like it's still attacking. It's still trying to brute force. So this might take some time. I'm just going to pause the video here, and I'm just going to come back as soon as Hydra is done. Okay, so Hydra is done brute forcing. You could see in the green text, it says login Chris and the password is Crystal. So that means we have successfully brute forced the password. We now have the password. It is Crystal, which is great. Now we can use these credentials to log into the FTP. So I'm just going to say FTP 10.10.28.213. I keep forgetting the IP address, and I'm just gonna say Chris for the username, and the password which we just cracked is Crystal. There you go, we are now in. So I'm just gonna list all the files, LSL to list all the files, and we have 3 files: to agentj.txt, cutealien.jpg, qt.png. So I'm just gonna get all these files. The first one is to_agent j.txt. I'm just gonna download it to my local machine, and then I'm gonna get the second file, which is cutealien.jpg file, and then qt.png. Okay, so is there anything else in the directory? No, there are only 3 files in here. Yep, there are only 3 files. There are no hidden files as well. So I'm just gonna exit the FTP server anyway. And there you go. We have these 3 files. We downloaded these 3 files from the FTP server. So I'm just gonna read the first file, which is the text file, seemingly. So if I cat it, it says another message. So it says, "Dear Agent J," we don't know the exact name of J, by the way, just letting you know. It says, "All these alien-like photos are fake. Agent R stored the real pictures inside your directory. your login password is somehow stored in these fake pictures, it shouldn't be a problem for you. So this is indicating that the login password is somehow stored in these pictures that we downloaded. So maybe it uses some kind of steganography techniques to hide the password inside those pictures. First of all, let me actually open these. I think it's xdg open. I don't remember the command. Let's actually see these pictures, okay? Nope. What is it? How do you open? Is it xdg open? Yeah, it is xdg open in Linux to open a file. No protocol specified. Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna go to my file manager and do this in the graphical user interface. These are the two pictures. So the first one is a cute looking alien and the second one is also a cute looking alien. But these are actually, the first one is actually a JPEG image and the second one is a PNG image. So we know that there is something hidden inside this image. To be more precise, a login password is hidden inside this image, but you can see it's not visible to the naked eye. So I am just going to use steganography tool to maybe see if there's anything hidden inside it. But first of all, I'm just going to run strings here. I have strings. Do I? Yes, I do. I'm just going to say strings cute alien.jpg. So these are some of the strings that are, these are just, I think this is just some JPEG data. So I'm just going to grep to see if there's any .txt or, so I'm just going to grep to see if there's anything like HTB. It's actually THM. This is TryHackMe. I'm sorry. Nothing. Okay. So I'm just gonna like quickly go through these strings to see if there's anything I find. I don't see anything interesting. I don't see anything interesting here, but we have another image, which is the PNG image. So I'm just gonna run string on that as well. Oh, look, we have something called to_agentr.txt. So this actually looks like there is a file embedded inside this image because it has an extension .txt. So maybe some file is actually hidden inside this image. So in order to test that, I'm just going to use binwalk. I don't have binwalk. So binwalk is basically, if I just Google binwalk, so it's basically a tool for searching a given binary image for embedded files and executable code. So that is exactly what we want. We want to see if there's any, embedded files in our images. So we're going to use binwalk. So how do I install binwalk? Can I just do sudo apt-get install binwalk? Oh yeah, I can do that. So it's apparently 169 MB. So it shouldn't take much time to download. It's downloading. And by the way, if you're wondering how do I immediately know to use a tool like binwalk, well, when I was like trying this machine for the first time, I actually used some other steganography tools, but they did not give me any good response. I didn't find anything interesting there. And then I ended up looking at one of the walkthroughs, one of the already available walkthroughs, and they mentioned about binwalk. And that's when I know about binwalk. Until then, I had no idea that there is a tool like binwalk that exists. But, so just letting you know that this is actually a learning process. No one knows everything. You just have to like look up on the internet and just learn from what you did and just keep learning. That it's a learning process. It's a continuous learning process. So anyway, so I have binwalk installed here. There you go. So there are a lot of options here. So I am just going to say binwalk followed by my image cute alien.jpg to see if there's anything else. So it seems like there is nothing embedded in the first image, that the JPEG image. So because it says there's only one what you say portion or one segment inside that image, and that's just JPEG image data, JFIF standard. So I'm just gonna run it for the second image that I downloaded, which is a PNG image. So, oh, there you go. We have something interesting. So first of all, there is a PNG image data, and then there's a zlib compressed data, zip archive data, which is encrypted. That is interesting. And then this is just the end of zip archive. So in order to extract this, these embedded files from this image, we can do this using this -e argument. So it says -e or --extract. You can automatically extract known file types. So these are the known file types. So I can just say binwalk -e followed by qt.png. And that is just going to extract those files. So I'm just going to say ls. There's a folder created, so I'm just going to go to this folder. I'm going to go ls, and there you go. This is our zip file. So if I say file 870, you can see that it is a zip archive data, and in order to unzip it, we actually need a password, because we saw that binwalk already told us that it's encrypted. It's encrypted. So we need a password to actually unzip it. But we also have another .txt file, which is to agentr.txt. Let me cat that out. So I'm just going to say to agentr.txt. There's nothing in here. Okay. It's going to say lsl. It's 0 bytes. So it's supposedly just an empty file, huh? Maybe the zip file contains a file called to_agentr.txt, and in order to unzip it, we need a password. So we don't have the password for the zip file. So I can actually say 7-zip and then try to unzip it with 7-zip. Oh, I can actually unzip it with unzip command. So it says need pk compact. Let me use 7-zip. 7-zip, command line error, unsupported command. Okay, there's actually going to be something here. Okay, so I have to say X in order to extract. So I'm just going to say 7-zip, 7zx, and then 8702.zip. Yes. There you go. It asks for a password. So now we know for sure that this is indeed like an encrypted archive. So let's actually try to brute force the password for this zip file as well. So I think I can do that with John. John is installed, fortunately, but before, since it's a zip file, we need to convert that zip file into a hash so that we can feed that as an input to John, right? So in order to do that, we can make use of zip to John. There you go. These are the usage instructions. -a file name. This is the known ASCII file. This can be faster if all other larger. And this is -o. Okay, so I'm just going to say zip to John, and I'm going to say the file name in here is 8702.zip, and then I can specify the output file name. I'll just specify the file name as hash, just zip hash, something like zip hash, because it's nothing but the hash of the zip, right? So let's do that. Okay. Do we have something here? Nope, it did not work. I have no idea why it did not work. What if I just remove this command here? Oh, seems like it worked. ls, no, it didn't work. What does it say here? Using file zip hash is only file to check. It's not an encrypted service. Okay, this is actually the the hash that zip that John has created from the zip file, but it is not stored in any output file. I'm not sure why, because I've given it the argument to save it in a file called zip hash, but I'm just going to ignore that. I'm just going to store that as zip hash like that. And now I should have the file. There you go. Zip hash, making sure that it's not empty. So it's not empty. It's 4 bytes. So There you go. This is the hash file that we need to feed to John. So I can just say John followed by zip hash, and that should, it's already done. There you go. It also shows you the password, which is alien. Alien is the password for the zip file. John has successfully cracked it. And you could also notice that I've specified no argument. I just said John followed by the hash file, because John will automatically figure out the type of hash. So I'm just going to use that password, 7zip extract 8702zip, and I'm just going to enter that password, which is alien, making sure I typed it. So there you go, it's done. So I don't. Okay, so there you go. To agent.art.txt is now not empty anymore. That is because this zip file actually contained this to agent.art.txt, and now that we have extracted it, it has overwritten the previous file, previous to underscore agent.art.txt file, which is empty. So that's why now we have the new file, which is what we want. So I'm just gonna copy. I'm just gonna cat it out to agent.art.txt, and it seems like we have another message. So there is a new person here. It says agent C. I think this is Chris actually, since it starts with C, but I don't know. So agent C, we need to send the picture to QXZLYTUX as soon as possible by agent R. Okay. So we have seen in the previous message that these images somehow contain the login password. So I'm guessing this is the login password. So I'm just going to try to SSH into it because we already have SSH. So I am going to try to SSH into the machine with the username Chris and keeping this string as the password. So I'm just going to say SSH 10.10. I forgot the name again. I think I have to like save it. I'll just save it. Okay. I'll just save it as a variable. I'm just going to say MIP, machine IP is equal to that. Okay. So I'm just going to say SSH Chris @ $MIP, and let's see. Yes, the password is this. I'm going to copy that, paste it. We should have access, right? No, it says permission denied. Please try again. So that is not the password, but why? Because in the previous message, in the previous hint that they've given us, they said that the login password is somehow included in the image, and we managed to extract the zip file from the image, we managed to crack it, and we managed to get this new text file, and it says some string like that, which is most likely to be the password. But the thing is, this looks like a base64 encoded string. So let me actually try to decode it. Base64 decoded. I'm going to say echo, and I'm going to say base64 space -d, and that's going to decode it. There you go. This is the decoded string. It is area 51. Now it makes sense that this could be the password. So I'm just going to do the same thing again. SSH as Chris onto the machine, and I'm going to give the password as area 51 this time. Nope, it's not the password. I think that is not the password. How is that not the password? I was pretty sure this is going to be the password, but it's not. Permission denied. Okay, I think I completely misunderstood this message right here. Okay, so the thing is, let me go back to the message. Where is the message? Yeah, so this is the message that we got. It says we need to send the picture to, and this is just a base64 encoded string. It doesn't say that this is the password, right? So I thought initially that this is the password. I didn't even like pay attention to this rest of the text, and I just thought that this would be the password. But it didn't say that this is the password. It just says we need to send the picture to followed by this string, which we know is area 51 in base64 encoded format as soon as possible. So it just says, in simpler words, we need to send the picture to area 51 as soon as possible. That's just a message. So this is not the login password. We actually have two images. We downloaded two images, but we only dealt with one image until now, which is the PNG image. We used binwalk to see that it contains embedded zip file, and then we got the zip file, we extracted it, and then we found out that it's encrypted, and then we cracked that encrypted zip file and we extracted it. But what about the other image file? We didn't make use of it in any way. So maybe there's something in that image file as well, which is the JPEG image, the cute alien.jpg image. So I'm just going to keep this string which we got, which is area 51, right? This area 51, because I think this might play a major role, because this is a critical thing that we found out, right? So I'm just going to make use of a steganography tool to see if there's anything, embedded in the other image as well, because we used binwalk already on that JPEG image, but it didn't say anything, just said that the whole image is just JPEG data. So maybe some kind of steganography technique is used to embed some message into it. So I'm just going to make use of steg hide, I think. Steg hide, yeah, steg hide. It's a pretty popular thing. I mean, pretty popular steganography tool, right? So how do I install that? I can make use of steg hide, but it seems like I do not have it installed on my machine. So I'm just gonna see if there's any steganography online decoders available. So I'm just going to make use of this one right here. So I will just select the image. This is the image, which is the JPEG file. The exact name goes like cute alien.jpg. So I'm just going to open that. And for the password, we have a string. We have found out an important string, which is area 51. So maybe we'll just try that as the password, right? And then I will just see. There you go. We have a message. We have a hidden message inside that image, and it says, "Hi, James." So we now know what agent J means. It means James. So glad you find this message. Your login password is hacker rules. There you go. Login password is critical. Don't ask me why this password looks cheesy. Ask Agent R who said this password for you. Your buddy Chris. All right. So now we have the password. Hacker rules is the password. So now I'll just SSH into it. So I will say SSH. Okay. And we now also know that this is not the password of Chris. It's actually the password of James. So I'm just going to say SSH James, and the password is hacker rules. I'm going to paste it there. There you go. We are logged in. We're logged in as James. So I'm just going to say we are in /home/James. Right. So if I go ls, you can see that there's a file called userflag.txt, which is self-explanatory. I'm just going to say userflag.txt, and that is the user flag. Now I have one more thing. I have alien.autopsy.jpg, which sounds interesting. Let's actually go ahead and check that out, right? So I'm going to go open a new terminal. TTTHM agent sudo. Okay. So I'm just going to say, I'm just going to use SCP to download that file. It's going to be James, yeah, and the IP address is 10.10.28.213 28.213, and I want to copy the file which is located at pwd, which is located at /home/James /alien.autopsy.jpg, and I'm just going to copy it to the current directory, right? Okay, so that's going to ask me the password. We already know the password. It is hacker rules. And there you go. The file is downloaded. There you go, alien.autopsy.jpg. So let me go ahead and see that. So alien.autopsy.jpg. What the fuck? I think I'll have to like blur this out, or maybe YouTube will just flag my video as age restricted, or maybe even block it. I don't know. So I'm just gonna blur this out. Basically, I'll just explain to you the context of this. Okay, it's just a alien looking dead body prepared for an autopsy, something like that. So if you want to like see this image for yourself, go ahead and solve the box, you know how to solve it, and you can get this image. But it's kind of creepy. It's actually very creepy. I'm just gonna have to blur this out. But anyway, um, it actually might have something interesting. Like there might be some message embedded into it, but we'll see if we'll have to do something with that image as well. So now we are user, but we want to escalate our privileges to root. And how do I do that? So first of all, I'm going to say sudo -l to see what all commands I'll be able to execute. The password is hacker rules. And okay, so user James may run the following commands and agent sudo. So we can run /bin/bash as any user except root. That is interesting. If you also look at the name of this machine, it is called agent sudo. So that hints that it has something to do with sudo, right? So I am just going to see if there's any known exploit for this version of sudo installed on the target machine. So I'm just going to say sudo -V to see the version of the sudo. So it is 1.8.32. 21. Sorry, I'm just going to copy that version number, and I'm just going to search on Google if there's any thing. So sudo exploit. I'll just go to the first link, which is the exploit DB link. So I've opened it up in new tab, and it has actually been assigned as CVE 2019-14287. So sudo 1.8.27. So if I can read what's it about. Okay, so that seems interesting. So if you check for the user sudo permissions, which just like how they did here, user hacker may run the following commands in Kali, which is all, not root, /bin/bash. This is exactly similar to what we saw. This is exactly the same configuration. So that's interesting. Maybe this exploit will indeed work for our version of sudo. In here it says it works for sudo less than 1.2.28, and our version of sudo is 1.8.21, which means yep, it indeed works. So let's see what this exploit is about. So user hacker can't run /bin/bash as root because of this not root here, and user hacker sudo privilege in okay, fine. So the exploit, this is the exploit. You just say sudo -u #-1 /bin/bash, and that should give us the root privileges to execute the bash binary. So for the description, it says sudo doesn't check for existence of the specified user ID and executes the with arbitrary user ID with the sudo priv -u #-1 returns as 0, which is root's ID. So that is the exploit. That is the vulnerability in this version of sudo. So let's actually copy this exploit right here, and I'm just going to go back here and I'm going to try it. Sudo -u #-1 /bin/bash. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to execute this bash binary as root by using this vulnerability in sudo. So if I hit enter, something happened. It says unknown user -1 sudo error initializing audit plugin sudo's off. Okay, that did not work. I'm gonna SSH back. It also terminated our connection. I have no idea why. Hello, what's up? Is my machine up? Ping MIP. Sudo ping MIP. Okay, seems like our machine is down. Let me go ahead. Let me go to TryHackMe. Okay, so for some reason the machine got terminated. I'm just gonna like spawn it back up again. and this is going to take like 1 minute. Okay, so let me try to SSH back into the machine. I'm going to say SSH James at this is a new IP because I respawned the machine. It's 10.10.100, not 97. And yes, and we know the password is hacker rules. Okay, maybe I mistyped the password. I'm just going to copy this from here. Seems like the machine is pretty slow. Okay. Yeah, we are in. So I'm just going to try that exploit once again. So essentially this is supposed to run bash as sudo. So I'm just going to hit enter. Password for James. We know the password for James. It is hacker rules. It is hacker rules. So HACKERRRULES exclamation. There you go. We are root now. Who am I? We are root. Great. So we have successfully escalated our privileges using the sudo exploit, the known exploit, which exists in the sudo versions less than what's that? Less than 1.2.28, and you could read more about this exploit by looking at its exploit DB page. So basically, the vulnerability exists in the fact that it's not checking for the existence of the specified user ID, and it executes the command with the arbitrary user ID with the sudo priv. And this command or this flag right here returns as 0, which is the user ID of root, and that's why we are able to execute bash as root. So we have a new root bash shell. So that's how we got root. So I'll just quickly go to my root directory and I will just list out the files and maybe just see root.txt. So I'm just going to say cd root and ls. There you go. We have root.txt, and there you go. We have a cute message here. It says, to Mr. Hacker, congratulations on rooting this box. The box was designed for TryHackMe. Tips: always update your machine. Your flag is this. So I'm just going to copy that flag. I've actually done the other exercises before, but I've never done the the privilege escalation. I'm doing it for the first time in this video, and yeah, it worked. Fortunately. And who is Agent R? That's a bonus question. Who is Agent R? Let's try. Let's actually see. Oh, it's Deskel. It says right here in this message, Deskel aka Agent R. So that is the name of Agent R. I'm just gonna submit it right there and click submit. There you go. The machine, the room is completed. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you liked it. Please do hit the subscribe button if you did not subscribe yet, and also turn on the bell icon to receive instant updates. So I'll just see you in the next video, I guess. So thanks for watching once again. Cheers.